hear the same thing said over and over and over again about a mysterious circumstance like the assassination on camera of the United Healthcare CEO, the largest healthcare company in America. The guy's facing DOJ investigations. He's facing investor lawsuits. He's facing allegations of insider trading.
Welcome to Pegasus vs. the World, where we take on challenges, comedy, trending topics, and some travel.
City boy! City boy!
All right, you guys. So this one's crazy. So if you're not familiar, now when I recorded this, they still haven't captured the assassin of the CEO of United Healthcare, which is interesting. So I started kind of diving into the story just a little bit, and there are so many different pieces to this. Before we get into it, if you want to support the channel, like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll link in the description my other channels, like my music reaction channel and podcast channel, at Black Pegasus Raps and 40-Year-Old FUQ Boys. I'm watching this from Benny's channel, if you want to support Benny. But I thought this was interesting. There was a few different takes. I saw Breaking Points had a good one too. But I'm going to play some of this for some of you guys playing catch up, and then for you guys else. You know, originally when I saw the tag, because I got emailed by New York Times. Why? I don't know, because I do not subscribe to them at all at any capacity. But anyway, it said there was a shooting in Manhattan, an assassin. It didn't say that. It said the CEO of United Healthcare was shot and killed in Manhattan. And it seems this was targeted. Then we fast forward, more stuff starts coming out. I'm gonna play some of this because he drops some good stuff in here. But like the bullets had the words on it. What was it? Defend, deny. I forget. We're gonna go into it. But this seems more and more like a legit assassination attempt. But I think the question is, was this done by a legit hitman? Because that's what it seems like. Just walking up in broad day, clappity clap, and you get away. A professional hitman. Something staged as a professional hitman, or a legit person who had problems with United Healthcare at some capacity. And I only say that because now we're at the point where what was said on the bullets would infer that this was done in a deliberate fashion for a deliberate reason, which is very interesting. But let's get into it and see what Benny's talking about.
When this guy was killed by an obvious assassin yesterday, who was using a suppressor, who was cool as a cucumber, when he shot dead Brian Thompson, people looked for answers. And when they Googled, they found something very weird. They found that Brian Thompson kept a low profile, you see. And they found that not only in the AP, but also on PBS and Yahoo Finance and on news outlets all around the country, who says that the United Healthcare CEO kept a low profile, kept a low profile, kept a low profile.
And why did they say that? And this is the other thing, man. This is why, all this stuff is going on in America, because Americans are just done with the media. They know they're lying. We were seeing all these clips in 2020 of the news outlets saying verbatim a script about the pandemic, like just side to side. It was like 300 people or 100 people saying the exact same thing. The news is so fake. And this is why people are going to the internet for the news. Because why? I don't know what he's getting at here, but that is an interesting take, because it's like, when you know what happened to homie, why does it say this? What narrative are they trying to create now? Anyway.
Kept a low profile. Kept a low profile. Again and again and again and again. Well, it's just a marker of something strange happening. When every media outlet uses the same term, that means someone very powerful is ordering that term to be used. Now, I have no idea why they would say kept a low profile in all these headlines. It seems very strange, almost like they're trying to dismiss what happened yesterday. But there's no dismissing the message on the bullet. The shooter of the United Healthcare chief executive, Brian Thompson, wrote, "Deny, defend, depose,"
there it is,
on the shell casings left at the scene. The words echo the same name of a book, about how insurers won't pay claims. This is an earthquake for corporate America. My goodness. So he wrote this on the shell casings. This was deeply premeditated.
So think about this, you guys. the one thing, because I got a lot of people from the UK, Europe, Australia that follow me on here. And y'all talk some and this is the one, they talk about America. And this is the one point where I actually absolutely agree with them. The U.S. medical and healthcare system is in shambles. It's horrible. Like, I was under the radar because of my earnings for a while. And since I have a family of 4, I was able to be on Medicaid at some point. Then I got kicked off Medicaid. And guess who I have? United Healthcare. And it's horrible. I'm always out of network, like little stuff. You're like, oh, man, this happened. Let me go in. Oh, you're not in network. I'm like, okay, well, where am I in network? Like, it's insane. It's insane. It's horrible. And that's what's really interesting that happens to the middle class, right? Poor people, if they are able to file, they can get on Medicaid. It's a really easy process. Middle class, no, you get hit the hardest, the biggest burden. Then rich people can afford it. So it's interesting because there's so much middle class. And when I say middle class in America, I mean, you can't really get that assistance typically if you're making over 50K, 50, 60K, something like that. So anyone that falls in the range, where they're making 40-ish, 50-ish K, you don't really qualify. It depends. Like every state is different, so don't hold me to that. But you guys get the notion, right? At least I'm giving you a base range to understand how many people in America don't have health care or can't afford their health care. And I saw this on another news article that 40% of bankruptcies in America are from medical bills or medical whatever. 40% of bankruptcies in America are from medical, dismay, let's say. So you got a lot of people out there that are not effing with this, man. And we're in a country that has so much wealth and money, and they still prey on us, especially in the healthcare industry, the education field too in America. But again, I'm not even tripping on I don't rock with the education. It's more indoctrination to me. I mean, there's some good stuff, doctors, lawyers, trades. But for the most part, man, we're in a really unique state. Let's play a little more of this.
Here's the book, Deny, Defend. Delay, Deny, Defend. Why insurance companies don't pay claims and what you can do about it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there seems to be more happening here. Obviously, the guy was under investigation. He was facing a lawsuit. Nancy Pelosi has something to do with this. Nancy Pelosi was someone who invested in the firm that announced they were doing a full-scale, end-to-end report on United Healthcare when there were allegations of misconduct.
You know what's crazy? I just saw this the other day. Nancy Pelosi's dad was in the mob, or got put on by the mob. The mob put on Nancy Pelosi's dad and did some favors for him. Michael Franchise, an ex-gangster mob member, and Sonny the Bull were talking about it, I think, on PBD podcast. And I was like, they're like, yeah. Sammy the Bull was the one who's like, yeah, we helped Pelosi. Like, he's a mob guy. We put him on. We did favors for him. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, bro, this gets deeper than I would ever think sometimes.
Is Nancy Pelosi somehow involved? Boy, man, that lady's such a witch. She really does have some of the most sinister connections.
Yo.
So just like every horrible thing to happen in America, Nancy Pelosi is making a profit. Message on the bullets fired from United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson's assassination bear eerie link to a book condemning insurance companies.
It's true, though.
Here you can see
these insurance companies are so shady. I mean, even if we get down the list of the people who get denied in the hurricanes, the fires, the floods, it's like you've been paying insurance all these years, lacing their pockets, and then when you need them. Now, car insurance has been good to me. Like when you have some issues with your whip, I'm a good driver too, but every now and then someone just totaled they slid through my intersection and just totaled my car. I wake up, go outside, my car's just obliterated. I'm like, but of course insurance comes through. But yeah, there's a lot of insurance scams out there, man. It's effed up.
This clear assassination, shot in the chest, in the back, and then you can see some of the new photos of the alleged assassin. We have to say that because they haven't exactly lined up these photos with the guy who shot him. We want to say, I guess, the suspect. This guy's a suspect.
To this day, I'm recording this on Saturday at, what is it, December 7th. They have not caught this guy. So he went out in one of the most crowded areas, one of the most popular places, Manhattan. It's close to Times Square. Pulled out a gap with a suppressor, clapped the CEO of United Healthcare, and got away. And once someone gets away, they'll be like, oh, we got the suspect, right? But then, all this MK Ultra type shit going on. You're like, did you catch it? Like, who is this MFer for real? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, dude, I swear to God, we living in a movie, yo. Like, it's like everything that I thought, oh, this is just a movie. This is just fantasy. That would never happen in real life. I love this movie because it's so groundbreaking. And I'm like, yo, when you start diving into politics, yo, governments, yo, gang, like mobs, yo, this shit is real as it gets. Crazy.
Buying a Starbucks right before the shooting. Getting fueled up. Grinning suspect in United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson's execution unmasked. So we got to say it's a suspect.
That dude could be anybody. I mean, that looks like a gang of people. Like, he doesn't have like this face that's just like, oh, that's Craig Mack. That's ODB. Like, this mother effer, that dude looks like he sings for Maroon 5. This dude looks straight like he's a part of 21 Pilots, yo. This is insane. They gonna catch him? We'll see. And we'll see who they catch. That's wild, yo. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit and see what else he's talking about. Because, look, we still got, oh, hold on. What's this? I don't think I saw this part yet.
Who's doing? I mean, many people, I think, saying maybe this is the actual killer and maybe he's just dumb, right? So there was this.
Or maybe it's a setup, man. Maybe they already have a fall guy. Maybe they needed to get this CEO out of the way to do some more shenanigans, man. These people, bro, Trump almost got assassinated, y'all. Like, they will clap whoever, whenever. That's what's crazy about this shit. You watch these hitman movies and they're like, they just pull up, clap, and then bounce. You're like, that never happened in real life. It just happened in real life. That's what's crazy.
Person who tracked city bikes and Shipwreck Show is saying that maybe it's the same person. Is this some type of like crazy ass Batman villain thing? I don't know. I don't know forensic capabilities on this program. So
insane.
The guys do kind of look alike, but what do I know?
Insane in the
right?
Ukraine.
New York Police Department has released a new photo of the suspect, Brian Thompson. I mean, isn't this a different jacket, right?
Oh, shit.
It's like a totally different jacket.
That's crazy.
So it's very confusing now, but New York.
It's also because internet investigators, bro. You see these Netflix movies where people just get on the internet and they try to figure it out from their home. Like, sometimes they throw shit off because they might get fed the wrong information or fake news or propaganda. And then that's why I'll take a while. Like, this happened like 4 days ago, I think, 3 days ago. And I'm just talking about it now because I wanted to see some things unfold. But, yo, it kind of seems deep, man. It's kind of dark, if we're being honest.
Release that. Here's some observations by an account that we know and trust. 3 observations about the murder. It was premeditated. The culprit knew exactly where and when to be. The culprit had to cycle their weapon between each shot. My guess is a long suppressor coupled with an underpowered round meant the gun had to manually be cycled. Subsonic rounds from a Ruger, if so, could barely make any noise with subsonic rounds, explaining exactly the lack of flinch reaction by the woman in the bystander. So it'd be very quiet, right?
Yo, that has to be at point blank. I had a 22 Ruger. If it's the same joint they're talking about, and it's matte, like when you shoot it, you don't even need a suppressor. It just sounds like pew, pew, pew. People would be like, yo, what's that sound? But it wouldn't be like Rugers, especially 22 caliber. And I'm not a gun head. I'm not like an aficionado. I do have guns and I do support 2A. But anyway, when I had a 22 Ruger, yeah, it ain't loud like a 9 or a 45 or nah. It's a lot quieter already.
If you're using a 22 caliber. Shots were a bit wild, not a headshot kill box like we'd expect from a true pro. Instead, the culprit went for the much higher percentage body shot, but if he was wearing body armor, that might not have gotten the job done right, as this individual says. Suspect list is...
That's crazy. Yeah, because I have some body armor too. I got some real shit. But basic body armor would have protected you from the 22 bullet. Like one of the entry level body armor joints that you could just wear with a sweater type joint would have probably protected him from pretty close to a point blank 22 joint.
Going to be tens of thousands deep. We include everybody with a relative that had been denied health insurance coverage. Or maybe somebody inside the DOJ.
Let me see what else he's talking about. Because I think the most important thing here is the healthcare problem in America. Like the fact that you're saying you're denying Americans healthcare, like that ain't happened nowhere in no first world nations, nowhere but America. People going bankrupt, and there's this balance, right? Because I don't believe we should pay more taxes, right, to have free healthcare or better healthcare. Because when you start looking at the numbers and statistics, there's a lot of things being manipulated, to the pharmaceutical prices, to the equipment they use. Doctors should be paid. They should be paid for their skills. It should be a great thing. But the reality is a lot of these pharmaceutical companies and corporations are involved in overpricing a lot of different things. And us, the American, is facing the issue. And the fact that people are dying. The other thing is a lot less death could happen. We learned about how unhealthy America is during 2020. And this is why it affected us so hard, because you have so many obese people, so many unhealthy people. So just the tactics of the healthcare industry in general are in shambles, right? Because if we were focused on the root cause, so eating properly, different things like that. So I think this just highlights the bigger problem, right? Like if someone did legit take this dude out because of some of the things they're implying here, it's really also stems from the root of the problem, which is the American healthcare system.
Ever. This is sick. It's demonic, actually, is what it is. Here's the newest breaking report on what we know about this murder. Very, very strange stuff.
I want to be clear. At this time, every indication is that this was a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack.
After the assassination, the gunman escaped through an alleyway before hopping on an e-bike and disappearing into Central Park. Police are still searching for the man, releasing these images of the suspect taken at a Starbucks right before the shooting. And now we are learning some clues as to a possible motive found on evidence at the scene. According to the New York Post, quote, the NYPD is investigating the possible message, which appears to include the words deny, depose, and defend written on live rounds.
On that book, it said delay. It didn't say deny. It said delay. So there might be a misinterpretation here. There might be something they're missing here. I don't know. Like it fit the book. It said 2 of the 3 things said here, but it did not say deny. It said delay. The book, if I remember correctly, we just watched it. The book said delay. So that's interesting. Or maybe it is exactly what we're saying, but he's like, instead of them delaying, they deny a lot of people. So I don't know. This is like some cryptic Zodiac, man. This is crazy. This is crazy. They might catch someone and it might not even be the right person. Like, this is pretty wild stuff, you guys.
And shell casings left behind by the masked assassin. The United Healthcare CEO was in New York for an investors conference. He was a father and a husband from Minnesota. His wife telling Fox this, quote, Brian was an incredibly loving, generous, talented man who truly lived life to the fullest and touched so many lives. Most importantly, Brian was an incredibly loving father to our 2 sons and will be greatly missed. She also told NBC News that before the shooting, her husband had received threats related to his job leading America's largest private insurer. And the shooting also comes as Thompson and several other senior executives are reportedly under investigation by the DOJ for selling a combined $101.5 million in shares just 2 weeks before news of a federal antitrust probe went public back in February.
You heard that? You heard it. We're going to tap out on that. The game is to be sold, not told, you guys. I feel bad for the family because I have kids and, I'm not trying to go early. I need to be here and raise these kids and them see a good man as an example. I feel for the family. But if you go onto the interwebs and look at the comments, I don't know if this dude was that bad. I don't know. This is the first time I heard it. I never was into this. That's why I'm kind of like, I was shocked. That's why I'm doing this. People are just ravenous. And maybe he was a really bad guy. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. But when people deny Americans for healthcare, in my opinion, you're a bad guy. I know he's not doing it personally, but their system. No one should be denied healthcare. We should all have access, and it should be affordable, right? They called it the Affordable Health Care Act. It was not affordable, you guys. You know, all the Obamacare shit, that was like horrible for me personally. Like at that time, I was like, bruh, like it's just crazy what people will sell you on. Obama's the savior, Obamacare. And it was not a good look. And even Trump didn't fix the shit either. You know, and the president ain't going to fix it. It's going to take the whole government and corporations to fix the shit. And do they want to fix it, or is it about the bread? That's what trips me out. You get to these levels, 101.5 million shares sold. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? They're making so much money, and it's never enough. It's never enough. Even me, I grind, man. I'm trying to become a millionaire. Abundance mindset. But there has to be some type of balance, man. That's just the truth. I agree. There has to be some type of balance, and I wouldn't want to make all this money at the cost of human life. Like I really wouldn't, you know. So I don't know. I can't call it, but you guys holla at your boy.
City boy, city boy.